Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to the Abundance Era. This is the third set in the series of four, and today just happens to be Veterans Day. So, before we start, just thank you to all the veterans for their families, for their wives, for the sacrifice. Um, your sacrifice is absolutely incredible and so worthy, and just appreciate you and your service so much. So, if you've been with us, me, the last 2 weeks and in this space and connecting and sharing, you know that this series isn't about learning more. It's a whole lot of love. It's a whole lot of acceptance, right? I had someone tell me recently something that they had stepped into. She's like, I thought it would be more work, but it's actually more love. And that's what this is too. It's about living differently, about choosing that and showing up differently in your work and for those that you are called to serve. And when you expand, when you show up in love, when you open your heart to a different perspective, not only in your business or in your life, like everything will shift. Like think about the last time you made a positive change in a habit, in your life, in your business, in your work. I'm curious if other things were parallel to that, if other things changed as well, because that's just the path that happens, right? We start to up level in certain places and we continue to up level in our entire being, in our entire life, in our work. So before we dive in, let's just take a breath together and anchor in and just invite God into your life, into the space. I ask God to speak through me today. Let my words meet the hearts that are ready to hear this message. So whether you're watching live, whether you're watching 10 years from now, there's a reason that you are here. And I'm so grateful for that. So as I'm sharing, if you're watching live, please comment. If you're watching the replay, please share that as well so that I can connect with you and support you in this abundance era, because it's so fun. So you're meant to be here. Let me just start with that. And tonight we're talking about anchored in peace and power, because abundance, while it sounds nice and it sounds shiny and it sounds fun, it's not always easy. Honestly, it's uncomfortable because it's growth and it's choosing something other than what you've been choosing. And that, right, making that choice of something different is going to feel uncomfortable. It's different, it's a growth, and you're allowing yourself to choose something different. And so when you pray for more, when you ask for more, when you long for more, when you have big dreams and goals, more peace, more clients, more joy, more freedom, you're also asking to hold more. And that means expanding your capacity to receive. That means releasing old beliefs that kept you safe in scarcity and trusting before proof shows up. So, abundance asks for faith before evidence. That stretch between you and what you believe and what you can see, that's uncomfortable. That's why women often push harder. They're trying to control the outcome or pull away out of fear or failure. But abundance doesn't respond to force or avoidance, it responds to devotion. And devotion says, even when I don't feel certain, I will keep showing up aligned. And this is what the abundance era is all about. Even when I don't see the full path, I will move one step in faith. And that's where peace is found. Not because everything gets easy, but because you stop fighting what's becoming into your space. And when abundance feels hard, let me just tell you, it's not punishment. It's preparation for that next level, that next step. Anytime you grow, you are going to go through some discomfort because you're shifting, you're becoming someone new, you're having different thoughts. And God is stretching you so you can hold what you've been praying for, right? Like God, you're going to ask for something and you're going to want to have abundance and you're going to open your heart and receive that abundance or choose to receive. And it's going to feel uncomfortable. But God stretches you so that you can hold what you've truly been praying for. But that means you can't just sit and hope. You cannot do that. You have to meet him in the movement, in the abundance, in the support. You have to meet him there because faith without works is dead. And this is one of my favorite Bible verses because we can, for many times in my life and in my business, I've just kind of wanted to just show up and just have things happen for me, right? Like it's like, oh, if I build it, they will come, right? But I have to do the work. I have to continue to show up every single day and make that choice for abundance. And it's going to feel uncomfortable and it's going to feel growth. So devotion means that you keep showing up even when it's not easy. And let me tell you, it's not going to be easy. And I want you to take a look at your life right now, right? What are some challenges that you have? Life is 50-50. You will have discomfort and you will have amazing experiences. How you show up in that, how you choose is the most important thing. So you can pray all day for peace, but at some point you have to practice it. Right? Some women tell me like, I just can't connect, or I'm just not a peaceful person, or I thrive on chaos. And because you're saying that, it's holding you back. It's pulling you further away from what you really want. You're literally blocking yourself from it when you tell yourself that. So you have to embody it in the moment that you want to maybe react when something feels hard, or in the moment where you want to run because this is really difficult or it feels uncomfortable, or in the moment that you want to quit. And the reason I'm still doing this work, because there have been many times that it's been hard and it's been overbearing and I wasn't sure, and maybe it wasn't going exactly as I had planned. But in those times, I've asked myself, like, oh, you should just quit. And literally, when I say that statement, I have like physical pain. Like I can feel pain in that statement, which means I'm not meant to quit. God is not asking me to quit and just like lay back and be like, fine, I give up, right? He encourages you to keep going, and he's going to challenge you along the way so that he can continue to mold you into his works, into full surrender and trust. And really, when you are in this space of wanting to run or react or want to quit, like that's where the abundance is built. That's where we grow. And that's why it's so powerful to surround yourself with people who are going to support and encourage you from a place of love and from a place of encouragement. Right. And that is where the abundance is built. That's why I support women in this work, in receiving abundance, in opening their hearts to it, in surrendering to it, because it's in the ordinary moments when you choose presence over panic, when you choose devotion over discipline, or being hard on yourself, or that guilt. And so I'm going to just tell you a story, something that happened to me this week. And it was hard and it felt heavy. And remember, we are not immune to pain, right? Like my goal in life was to make everyone happy and to make myself happy. So I did that all the time, which means I had vices, which means I wasn't always truthful, which means I wasn't always honest with myself or others, right? Because I just wanted to be happy. So I didn't say certain things to ruffle feathers, or I didn't take ownership of the things that were actually hurting me, right? I was just getting dopamine hits. Like, what feels good right now? I'm just going to do that. But the truth is that to grow, to receive, to choose abundance, like that's going to feel uncomfortable. And when we take ownership of that and say, well, the discomfort I'm feeling now by choosing all the things that don't get me to abundance, like I'm already feeling uncomfortable. So why not choose a different route in that discomfort to get to where you want to go? Because I ask women all the time, I'm like, you're already like, you already don't have energy, and you're already like feeling this anxiety, whether you do or whether you don't. Like, what if you tried it a different way? What if you chose something different and then just opened up the door to something else? And that's how I love to support women in shifting that perspective. And so this week, someone questioned me. I don't know about you, but like, do you like to be questioned? Do you like to hear hard things? I don't. Like this person really, really questioned what I'm doing, and even said that they thought I was lying to myself. Now that hurt. It really felt like an attack on me, on my integrity, and it was heavy. And I felt it. I heard it. I cried through it. My first reaction was to defend myself, to fight those words to prove that I was right. And I even did some of that, right? Like I just like, I don't understand. Like let me just clear the water here. Let me clear things up. And then there was a moment where I just paused and I surrendered it to the Lord. I surrendered what that person was saying. I surrendered what I felt. I just allowed it to be. And I felt it. I felt it. I was crying. It was really heavy. And I told the Lord, I said, I feel like my whole life has been one of unlearning. And I asked him, what do you want me to learn here? Right. Like, because sometimes we're like, God's teaching us lessons. And it's really hard to understand. Have you ever asked why? Right. I lost my mom in a tragic car accident when I was 4 years old. I asked why a lot. Why did this happen to me? Why did my mom pass away? Why, what did I do wrong? Right. Like, so I asked why a lot. And so I asked the Lord, what do you want me to learn here? And this is what I heard. He said, you don't need my love. You already have it. Wow. And then I heard the Lord, he said, I work in and through you. I'm always guiding you. And I thanked you. I thanked him for helping me to hear his voice. Right. So if you're hearing God's voice, if you're getting a message, say thank you. And let me just tell you that God's voice comes in all different ways. It's very rarely is it a booming voice that you hear exteriorly. Typically, it's an inner voice and a peace that you feel. It might just be like, oh, this is like overwhelming, deep, abiding peace. And how beautiful is that? So he spoke to me only because I listened, only because I surrendered and opened my heart to that. And that, my friends, that is what devotion looks like. It's not pretending that the hard moments don't sting, because they do. They hurt. Those words continue to come into my ear, and I get to choose how I show up to them. I get to choose what I learn from them. I get to choose the spaces that God means for me to apply them. It's choosing peace in the middle of misunderstanding. Instead of having to justify, instead of having to fight back, instead of having to really just fight, right? It's letting God refine you instead of rushing to defend yourself. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't stand up for yourself. If someone's hurting you, if someone's saying something, like, stand up for yourself. But also allow yourself to surrender and let God fight those battles, because peace isn't the absence of pressure. You're going to feel squeezed. You're going to feel discomfort. It's presence under pressure, right? That's the peace, is presence, always present under pressure. And also saying to yourself, like, I'm staying firm and rooted in who I am in and through him. And that's where abundance is really built, you guys, right in the moment of surrender. And so I want you to think about this. Where in your life or business do you feel pressure right now? Feel free to type it in the chat. Feel free to send me a message later with it. Feel free to just write it down or think about it. Where in your life or business do you feel pressure right now? And then what if pressure isn't a problem? It's just a place for practice, right? Tony Robbins loves to say the problem that most people have is thinking that there should be no problems. And so when we can support ourselves in that and saying, like, yeah, there are going to be challenges all around me, and I just see them as a place of practice. So maybe it's not the difficult situation or the difficult customer or client or the schedule or the money that's testing you. Maybe that problem, that circumstance, is your invitation to really deepen your peace. Wow, what is this teaching me? How is this helping me grow and live in abundance? Because flow is not passive. This acceptance, this receiving isn't passive. It's so purposeful. It's a choice that we get to make every single day. And you can't lead by avoiding the work. You have to show up to it. You have to choose. Now, if this conversation really stirred something in you, if you're feeling that mix of conviction and peace, and this is what I've been missing, then I want you to know that this work is what we do inside Amplify. And it's a 9-month program of devotion in motion. It's like we are diving all in. We are choosing to receive this. We are choosing to step into the discomfort so that we can grow and receive and handle things like a pro, handle things like a champ, because it's not that there won't be problems. It's about being big enough to respond and remain calm while you're solving the problem. Because it's not that we will never have problems or challenges, for sure. It's really about learning to lead yourself and your business from overflow, not overwhelm. So if you're ready to talk about what that could look like for you, just send me a message with the word abundance and we'll have a beautiful conversation about it. And also explore what your next step could be and what you can expand into when you make that choice. Because here's really what I know. You don't need another system. You don't need more work to do, right? Like it says, like you don't need more work. Like this is more love because what we all need is a stronger spirit. So we can stop chasing peace like it's out there somewhere or abundance like it's out there somewhere. And we can start practicing it right here because it is here all the time. So every decision, every day becomes such a beautiful devotion. And here's the fun part, you're still gonna sweat. Anyone see my reel recently where it's like Superstar from the old Mary Catherine Gallagher from the Superstar movie? I think that's so funny. But you will still sweat. This is not about it being an easy road. This is about having support and loving yourself through it because you're still gonna feel that resistance, but you'll move from that force to that faith, which can be hard to do when you haven't seen or don't have the evidence that something will work out. It's trusting yourself. And that's really where the freedom lives, where the abundance live. So I want you to just close out here with a breath as you inhale, just breathe in abundance and exhale that pressure that you're putting on yourself. And if you like, you can say this out loud or in your head, but I'm anchored in peace and power. I move with devotion, not doubt. That's the practice, these simple practices. That's abundance. All right, you guys, I love you so much. I'm going to see you next Tuesday for our final session in the abundance era. And if you're feeling the nudge, send me a message with the word abundance and let's talk about what's next. I love you all. Talk to you soon.